made the decision earlier in the week. There were some things that were, going on, and I said, the only 4 wide receivers I want to see run with the ones. I want to see Demetrius Wilson, Jared Cornelius, Drew Morgan, and Cody Hollister. And Keon Hatcher has really responded since then. Made a great play down there today. I think we got 5 very, very good wide receivers. A definite increase, I think, from where we were just depth-wise a year ago. Again, not a knock on the pass. Love those guys. I just think the 5 of these guys bring something. But Drew Morgan, a year ago, he caught all those balls for Coach at Greenwood, and I knew he can catch, And I remember last spring I ripped him for 5 minutes when he put a ball. He can't. He reminds me a lot of the player that had Abadaris this year that went to the Pack. He just not just because they're a white wide receiver. It's not that. For them they've got optimal speed. But they have to catch everything, They have to be perfect on their routes. They have to understand the correct split. They got to have great communication with their quarterbacks. I bet you if you walked in the locker room right now, BA would say, hey, well, how's 80? Make sure 80's okay, And I don't know 2 weeks ago if he would have had that pressing concern. So I was very, very pleased with the upper end of our wide receivers today that caught the ball. I think Jared Cornelius, this is probably one of our poorer days. I think it just got a little – he's got a lot on him. I think as coaches we can't just put too much on that young man's plate. Absolutely. I think you're exactly right. I think Braylon, Mitchell is a senior that's done a really nice job. I think we have to understand that Braylon is probably not a 60-play game guy. He's probably – in that lower 40s, somewhere around in there, and a very, very good player. But his breakdowns tend to come when he's tired and a little bit worn down. So Randy come in and gives us something. I think we also got to look at, there's some guys that TQ has been playing well over at Will, and Otha has been coming along nice at the Mike linebacker. Josh Williams does some really nice things in the run game at the Mike. So trying to distribute that wealth exactly. We'll have a big personnel meeting tomorrow. Get all the guys in the right places, but I agree. Randy, I think, could give us something more in special teams. They're what, running underneath? Oh, finding space? Yeah, that's probably fair to say. I think they got a better understanding, and one of the things that we've really been trying to emphasize is the ones run with the ones, kind of grew into that evolution as a coach. Is there's same reason I want that right guard and right tackle to play next to each other a lot. I want those receivers to play next to one another with a quarterback that's going to be throwing the ball. And I went in the huddle there when Austin Allen got in with the ones, and there was a procedure penalty. Well, even though they're bloodly related, they came from the same mom and dad. They don't give the same cadence, and there was a jump. So we got to go in the huddle. Listen, there's a new cue. His last name is Allen, but this is Austin. He plays differently than his brother. And it sounds simple, it sounds funny, but that's true. Those kids, they got to realize the new cue's in there, and there's going to be adjustments with that. You mean just like as in a game situation? I think so. I think, 2 guys I haven't talked about who I'm extremely impressed with are Cameron Jefferson and Sebastian Tretola. Cameron Jefferson, both of those kids, as a head coach, you take at least I take a lot of caution and a lot of yield when I'm bringing in someone who is not a freshman, because you're bringing in theory, someone that's going to directly compete with an upperclassman for a position. You got to make sure that they fit in every way that you can imagine, whether it be physically in the design of what we want, schematically in what we want, but personality and demeanor. And those 2 kids, whether you talk to Matt Summers in the training room, Ben Herbert in the weight room, Matt Engelbert in video, our equipment room, they're just like little kids. They just love their equipment is awesome. Their food is awesome. We're trying to slow down Sebastian's food, but I think the great thing is they've been a nice fit in the room, and that's why they've been accepted with open arms. But I could see Cameron at left guard having a little bit of an opportunity there. I think Sebastian Tretola at right guard is a very, very good player. I kind of said to him, hey, if we can lose 5 pounds a week for 4 weeks at Auburn, he'd weigh 350. And I think he can. That's a weight he could play very, very well. He's a very powerful and very quick twitch player. Well, we go inside. We go inside as we get closer to it. 2 weeks out, I'm going to kind of let this. We were pretty hot on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to be quite honest. Today, just because of what we're doing, I didn't mind a little of the breeze and overcast. I think it was a little bit, but if we can't get the work outside in the humidity and the temperature, we can easily move inside, and it'll give us the same thing, except for we don't have to worry about skin cancer, I guess, because we'll be inside. But you worry about the things you control. I can't control anything about Auburn when we go there, and from who lines up a quarterback to what the temperature is to what the stadium is like. I can only worry about our 11 guys. What? Yeah, great question. Frank has had a nice week. I can't imagine being a true freshman doing what he's doing and popping in there. There's some things that he's got to get down. He's never played center. I think the progression of a kid 5 days into an experiment, or 6 days now into an experiment that looks like it's going to go well. We just got to have to make a decision. Is he our best option, until he gets to a point where he's vying for it. I don't think he's anywhere close to getting to a Mitch level yet, but I do like the progress he's made in the week.
How did you feel like you passed?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like you're starting with a kid in Pop Warner. I mean, he's a big Pop Warner kid, but he's only been doing it for 5 days, So to get the snap, to get the exchange and the rhythm with the quarterback is going to be a big deal.
We haven't mentioned the safeties.
Absolutely. You just haven't asked a question. I'm not holding it. I think Alan Turner's having the only thing I got pissed at him today was when he grabbed Jay Will's leg. And he's just playing intense, and I get it, and I love that kid to death. I think he is a leader in the back end. When he speaks, others listen. I think he's had a really nice camp. Rohan Gaines has had a really nice 2 days here. I think he saw a young man coming on him behind him by the name of Josh Lydell and DeAndre Coley, who are really, really good players. Again, the state of Arkansas has got to be a premium recruiting ground for us, because we had Josh Lydell in the camp. We liked him, but he's a kid that played quarterback, played wide receiver, played DB, didn't know, and he's going to be a phenomenal football player. I think him and Coley, and then Sleepy's had Davion McKinney. For those who don't know who Sleepy is, after you interview him, you know why his nickname's Sleepy. But he's had a really, really nice camp, aggressive, intense, playing strong, playing free, great all of our special teams. I can't say enough about Coach Jennings and Coach Smith and our back end, their development.
What's your big picture takeaway from the
I would say this, Bo. I told the guys at the beginning of the week, like I told you guys, I want to know who our football players are, and I think that kind of showed up a lot this week. Now, to get those guys to fit into the packages we want, the schemes that we want, find out what our best personnel groupings are on offense. I think there's some things offensively that the fullback is appealing to me, but on the same account, we don't have a true thumper like Hero was, So how do we adjust to that? Well, it'd be probably 12, because now you have A.J. Derby. So there's some stuff there that is good. Defensively, I was just excited to see how they tackled, and I thought, I really believe, and now you guys may think that I'm crazy, but like I grabbed Otho, forgot that it was tackling on that one little tight end crossing. I think he was just so ingrained that when you're doing it all week and you're playing against your guys, he just kind of shoved the tight end, whereas, we'd love for him to lay the guy out. So I think the personality of our defense really showed up today, and I've been really excited about our kicking game. The first time we hit field goals, both John and Cole Hedlund went 4 for 4 on field goals. The next day they went 3 for 3, and they both missed the fourth one because I put them back pretty far in some tough conditions. We were on grass. I like the way Sam Irwin's hitting the ball because of Roy's influence in our special teams. I think there's an added awareness in the kicking game. So I couldn't be more pleased as a head coach to walk off the field today with 6 days of work, knowing where we're at, and just it may not be that apparent. I just know we're so much further along than we were a year ago at this time, and that to me gets really exciting. Yeah, return guys. If I would say today we had to go out and return a punt, I think DJ Dean would probably be the guy in the back end. I think that Duop has some special skills back there. I would also say Cody Hollister is a reliable guy as a punt returner. And, then there's a host of other guys between Demetrius Wilson, between JoJo Robinson, some guys back there. Kickoff return is going to be interesting. I think if you ask any player on our team, they're going to kick the ball deep, and we're going to run a scheme. It's going to be hard to say that we shouldn't put it in number 33's hands. Extremely gifted football player in my career. That's probably one of the most explosive players I have ever coached. A year ago, didn't know it. In the spring, I had an awareness of it, but now He really is an incredibly explosive player. I think back there in the back end, it's going to be a fight. Who else will be back? But we got a host there just to show what recruiting and development can do. I mean, last year I remember we were fielding punts and kicks in pre-practice, and there were like 6 guys back there total. Now I got like 20, 22 guys, and I got to narrow it down to get it to the 15, to narrow it down to get to the 5. So recruiting and development makes a huge difference in your program. On Josh, I'm sorry if I didn't mention him earlier, but I've been very excited with all 4 new linebackers we brought in. 2 guys I didn't mention, Josh Williams. I think he can only play Mike. Very thick, very instinctive player. Just a little thing, Mike linebackers, I'm sure I grew up watching Mike Singletary. He was always pointing things out. And one of the things that he naturally did, when he sees a guard pull, you literally see his hand move because you know what he's seeing. And it's just you could tell he's got good basic instincts. The other linebacker that Kalia Hackett, I'm not disappointed in. I just think he was a former safety. He played a little bit of linebacker. His curve hasn't come as quick, but he's an impressive physical and a very, very, if we have to redshirt him, that'll be one great redshirt.